Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to go through my free-to-play and pay-to-win team formations for Supreme Arena for this week. The formation ID will be in the corner. We're going to lead it off with the free-to-play teams. So for team number 1, I'm going for an Iron Almas Tossie combo. We're going to be running a lot of the Wilder Phantomal, the Snow Stomper, because he should be your highest leveled up Phantomal. In fact, I took him all the way to level 60 and I kind of recommend it because the Wilder faction is the strongest for pushing AFK stages, and he also is really good in PvP because if you have him level 40 or above, the Snow Stomper Phantomal, he will immediately cast his ultimate, and that can take an enemy Lily May interruption. And if it doesn't take that, it's just going to provide massive haste reduction onto the enemy team. So the other heroes here, we have Iron and Almas to crowd control them, immobilize them, and then buy a little bit of time for our Bonnie Tossie Stroll type comp. We have Bonnie well protected with Thorn Soul Pacting her, and in this position it's not actually even possible for Sylvina to jump onto her, because one common strategy of countering Bonnie is to try and place a Sylvina symmetrical tile and jump on her. That will stun her and prevent her from actually getting her DK's reach, her dot damage off her debuff. But this is now she's going to be she's going to be guaranteed to go off, and then in the end Tossie is going to try to solo the enemy team with, you know, a couple of her invincibility procs, and then when she can cast her ultimate, it should be the win for our team. And as for the artifact, Soothe Rain spell is very good artifact for these stroll oriented teams, and even for not, because it gives good stat distribution, HP attack and vitality that improves the value of shields and heals, and then also it provides healing periodically through the fight. Moving on to team number 2, we have Pandora Shmira on my team number 2 here. Damon is going to be providing attack buff to Shmira. We have Ludovic to heal the Pandora and the Nero right from the beginning of the battle to make sure Pandora can survive long enough, because 4 seconds into the match, Shmira is going to come out of that box and immediately be casting her ultimate and shredding the enemy team. We have Nero as well, because if the enemy runs a Lily May, then Nero will take the Lily May interruption because he will immediately cast ultimate at the beginning of the match. And then we have the Grim Executioner Phantomal, who is going to taunt the enemies and also tank really well for our team. And we have the Blood Moon spell, which is really good support because 3 seconds into the match, Blood Moon spell is going to go off giving these buffs. And so when Shmira comes out of that box, she's going to have the buffs and ready to kill the opponent team. Now, Pandora is good with Shmira and Pandora is good with Tossie. In the previous week, I recommended Pandora Tossie, but in this week, I'm going to be recommending Pandora Shmira, and you can see how it works for you. Now, the map 2 effect that we have, Haunting Grounds, this is going to mean that when you kill enemy units, you're actually going to debuff yourself. Basically, when you kill enemy units, you're going to debuff yourself with these fear stacks, or whatever it's called here. And these are going to cause enemies to deal 30% bonus damage onto you, and then also is going to reduce your own magic damage output. However, Shmira has a lot of her damage in true damage from her ultimate, and that true damage should not be reduced, at least based on the wording here. This is only magical damage which is reduced, and true damage is not counted as magical damage. And so Shmira is still going to be pretty effective here, even if you do get debuffed. But even then, I don't think we're going to get debuffed in the first 4 seconds. Shmira is probably just going to begin shredding and popping really, really quickly all the enemies together before we have any debuffs onto ourselves. So that is basically what we have here. Okay, next up, we have team number 3. So this is a team I did testing of in duel, and it's actually very effective. So we have Hugin Mechanized Bond buff onto Lily May, Pheromore buff onto Lily May, and then we have Divine Favor spell buff onto Lily May. This is to buff Lily May basically almost to maximum potential, and so her Range from Ballet right from the beginning is going to shred through the opponent team and deal a lot of damage. We also have Siren in the back, and he is here with the Divine Favor. He is also going to be dealing high damage right from the beginning, and we have Snow Stomper to take an enemy Lily May interruption, so that Siren is really going to be able to get off his ultimate when he charges enough energy. We also have Damien, because this is a hero a lot of people have built for his healing and also haste buff, to further even provide more temporary buffs to Lily May once he's active. So this is a strong team, a very good option. However, if you want to try different options, of course, Ravion is a great hero to be running here. You could even replace Hugin or Pheromore for Ravion if you have Ravion built, and that is very strong, is working well for people. You can also replace, for example, Damien for Leica. Leica is a really good temporary buffer as well, and in fact, Leica's temporary buff is immediate right from the beginning of the match, and that's going to power up Lily May a bit quicker compared to Damien, which is a bit delayed, because because he has to at least spawn his toy chariot, and then he's going to begin buffing. But either way, you can run whichever heroes you have the most upgraded. You can also experiment, but this is overall a solid team as well. And before we move on to the pay to win teams, if you guys are thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. Okay guys, now we have the pay to win team. So for pay to win team number 1, it is going to be Theodore buffing up Siren to almost instantly cast his ultimate, but not quite. Snow Stomper is obviously going to cast ultimate right from the beginning of the match. He's going to take a potential Lily May interruption. Then a few seconds later, Siren will be casting his ultimate. We have Pandora here in a pretty protected position. She's not going to be easy to focus here. And then we have Tassi right in the back, who is going to 4 seconds into the match come out of the box and immediately cast her ultimate with the Blood Moon spell support and deal a lot of damage to the opposing team. Almost as he has a great tank as well as to fill out the wilder 3 faction heroes we need, and he will synergize really well with Siren, who also has that crowd control, and almost really likes allies who have crowd control along with him. So overall, this is going to be a very strong team, and I'm looking forward to trying it in this week. Moving on to team number 2, we have our Lily May, Athalia nuking team, both with the Divine Favor spell onto them in the back. We have the temporary buffer Laika and also Damon to give the attack buff to Lily May, and we have Radron here to further attack buff both Athalia and Lily May for them to hit even harder. This is the pay to win kind of Lily May nuking team that I've come up with, and Athalia also 2 seconds into the match is going to begin dashing into the backline, hitting enemies with her abilities. This is overall a strong team option, and also because we are in the Haunting Grounds, magical damage dealt by your allies after you get kills can be reduced, but Athalia is going to be a physical damage dealer, so she doesn't care about that. Lily May, though, is a magical damage dealer, but she has true damage in her kit as well, which is also going to bypass this, and the idea is Lily May might get a couple of kills at the beginning, but then a lot of the finishing is going to be done with Athalia, and her damage is not going to be reduced, because it's physical. For team number 3, we have our Graveborn Stroll team with Dunlinger. Dunlinger is really kind of important in this team, but not needed. And again, you do not need to run Dunlinger here. You could run a hero like Nero, that is usually, or even Thorin, but Nero is usually the recommended option because Nero can quickly spread Citrana's debuffs onto the enemies and also Bonnie's debuffs. So Nero is a really good ally, but Dunlinger is really the best because Dunlinger will protect our team from like a Cryanaya, any quick ultimating comp, and really force the enemy to just play into our stall strategy, which we have here. So Grim Executioner, as you guys can see, he is the second Phantom I've been leveling up, and your second Phantom you choose can be anything. Obviously, Snow Stomper should be everyone's first, and I took it all the way to level 60, but minimum level 40. Then after that, it just depends. Do you want to go for PvP? Then Grim Executioner is a great option because a lot of PvP teams are going to be centered around the Graveborn faction, and in the early phase 1 that we're in right now, Grim Executioner is pretty decent, so he's a good investment. However, you can level up whatever other Phantom you want. So let's talk about the positioning. We have the Bonnie on a tile, which is not, there's no symmetrical tile, which is right over here. So if they run a Sylvina, they have no way of jumping onto Bonnie, which means that my Bonnie will freely be able to cast her debuff, and she cannot get interrupted and cancelled, because that is one key strategy people use to counter teams like this. We have Citrana in a position that she is going to spread her sparks onto every single ally from where she's sitting, and Ludovic immediately is going to be healing for Citrana, Igor, and Bonnie, so people cannot burst me quickly. We have Dunlinger to give the Bell of Order onto Igor. Not necessarily that I wanted it on Igor, I just didn't really care whether it's on Igor or Citrana. I didn't think it made much of a difference, so I chose to give it to Igor, and Igor's going to stroll out, like he might be the last man standing, so having some extra buffs from Dunlinger's Bell can be useful. So yeah, that's basically the team. You can run Nero rather than Dunlinger if you don't have Dunlinger, or you can try any other hero you have upgraded pretty much to run in a team like this. Grim Executioner right up front to take all the aggro, because that's the job of Grim Executioner. He's basically a huge meat shield and also a taunter for your team, and then has some other debuffs that he can provide. Now I'm using the pay to win artifact, which you will only, I believe you will only have this if you have an Aspiria monthly active, but because we're talking about pay to win comps, I wanted to include this spell because I think this is the best spell for this team. It's a really interesting artifact actually for PvP. It gives range defense, which is going to make our even tankier, our stall, attack as well, and then more defenses. And this is unique. At the start of battle, it sends tremors to the enemy side of the battlefield for the first 5 seconds, deals damage and immobilizes enemies. Soothe Rain is just a pure stroll type artifact, and Seismic Spell is more of like a denial crowd control, which synergizes well with this team because this team otherwise doesn't really have crowd control, it just has the debuffs. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for my free to play and pay to win teams for this week. Hopefully they work out well for you. If you have any other teams or team ideas which you want to share, feel free to do that in the comment section down below. But thanks for watching. If you guys are not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, feel free to join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video, and we talk about everything related to AFK Journey there, and you can ask me any questions you have. I'm very active there. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. There is a link to that in the description of this video in a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.